Okay, so hello everyone, welcome to our session wherein we discuss the finance current affair news, right? My name is Davinder and I'm your finance mentor. Tell me that everything is fine with the audio and the video so that we can start with the session. Today, my throat it is in a very bad condition. I can't speak very clearly. So I'll try to speak today. I'll try to speak slowly today and and try to cover each and every news, right? I just want a confirmation from all of you that everything is fine with my audio and video. Okay. So I think we can start with the session. I have checked that everything is fine. So let's start. So our today's session, we are going to cover these three newses, right? Okay. So we are going to cover these three newses. Where it goes? These three newses. The first news or the second news is related to the SEBI. Again, SEBI have made two major initiatives. We need to remember them. Why? Because they can directly ask in your examination as a objective type question, or you can highlight these two newses or initiative in your descriptive answers as well, depending upon what question they have asked you, right? Depending upon what question they have asked you, right? Then lastly, we have one news which is related to Swift. We will understand what do we mean by Swift and then what kind of new framework they are working on. Lastly, we will have few questions to be discussed. So our first news is that SEBI introduces a voluntary lock-in facility for mutual fund folios. As we know that SEBI is a regulatory body of stock markets, right? They regulate it, and SEBI also regulate mutual fund sector as well. Now, over past few years, there is one problem that is being faced by every investor, that is cyber risk. Cyber risk, due to which the hackers are hacking the mutual fund portfolios of individuals, due to which many of the individuals have lost their investment. Along with this, their hard earned money as well, right? So SEBI has introduced the initiative in order to protect these investors so that there is less cyber security, cyber risk, and there is less hacking that is happening at the mutual fund sector. As we know, mutual fund sector is very important sector. Many of the people like you and me do invest in mutual fund sector. It is one of the famous, we can say, unit, or we can say sector among the household. So we need to protect the Indian households, the Indian investors. Okay. So what SEBI has done, SEBI has introduced a voluntary lock-in or debit freeze facility for mutual fund account folios. So there are two terminologies that we need to understand. The first one is the lock-in, or we can say debit freeze facility. And second, what do we mean by mutual fund folios, right? So Mutual fund folios are like your bank account, or we can say it is a unique number. It is a unique number that is being allotted to the individual by their mutual fund company, or we can say by the asset management company, right? And this unique number is being given to the individual by the mutual fund company. So one individual deals with, say, many mutual fund companies. It is not have invested in one particular mutual fund company scheme, right? So one individual can have one, two, or more MF folios, right? So first problem is that it is very difficult to manage all of them, right? For the individual. So that is mutual fund folios. Now consider and remember this problem. We are going to read about it in our upcoming slides, that why I was telling this, that this is a problem, right? And how it is being resolved by initiating this facility. Then comes your voluntary lock-in period. Voluntary lock-in period, or we can say voluntary lock-in facility, is a facility wherein individual can lock their mutual fund units in the account, in their demat account. What will happen with that? That even if the hacker have hacked their account, the hacker won't be able to sell the mutual fund units. The hacker won't be able to sell the mutual fund units. Why? Because in order to unlock these units, the person should get a permission, or we can say a consent permission, or we can say a consent from the investor, that will require a OTP or a password, or a consent from a investors, the mutual fund investor. So the hacker won't be able to access the mutual fund portfolio of investor, right? So this entire facility is to protect the investors. Now, how the question can be asked in your examination? Now listen to me properly. Suppose there is a direct question. What do you mean by the voluntary lock-in facility under the mutual fund folio? They may ask you that when this facility started. So you have answer that April 30, 2026, the SEBI introduced this particular facility. They may ask you what is the meaning of this facility. So you can answer that the investor can lock in their mutual fund units so that the hacker cannot access it, right? So overall agenda is to safeguard the investor. In your descriptive answers, if they ask that what kind of actions SEBI have taken in past in order to protect the investor, so you can highlight this one news in one simple line, or you can say in one simple language. You can simply answer or write your answer regarding this initiative as well, right? So let's just read out now everything through a PPT so that we can understand with the technical jargons as well. So with this facility, we mean that investor can lock their mutual fund account so that no units can be withdrawn. That means sell or withdrawn, or they may be transferred to any other person until they are unlocked. Unlocked means that with the consent of the investor, they are being unlocked. Okay, the unlocked units can be freely transferred, can be freely withdrawn or sell to other person, right? So this is what we are trying to avoid. What is the agenda? Agenda is very simple. We want to reduce the fraud. We want to reduce the unauthorized withdrawals that is being done by the hackers. And we want to ensure that there is no misuse of investors' account, because sometimes the investors' account get hacked by the hacker, or somebody just, we can say, steal those information. So that is the reason we need to protect the investors, we need to protect the units, and we need to reduce the frauds level, right? We need to ensure that there is enough digital security in the mutual fund investors sector. I hope you understand. Who can access the facilities? Now, these facilities are being, they can say, available to individuals who have been upgraded or completed their KYC, and they have a valid mobile number as well, and there is a valid registered email ID as well. If they have done all these formalities with the mutual fund, or we can say with the SEBI, then they are good to go with this facility, right? So they are going to release this facility in phase manner. That means slowly they are going to expand this facility to many investors and at many platforms. But currently they are just offering these facility on MF Central. Okay, MF Central. That is one of the secure and single platform, single window platform that allows the investors to manage their MF folios. Remember, in the first slide, I talked about mutual fund folios because one individual hold many mutual fund folios, so it becomes very difficult for the individual to manage all of them, right? They might have many investment with many mutual fund company, and each mutual fund company have allotted a unique number to the investor, which is known to be a mutual fund folio, right? Now the individual can manage these all mutual fund folios at one single place and at one single platform named as MF Central. MF Central platform was introduced by SEBI in 2021. This is again one of the initiative that is being taken by the SEBI in order to boost the, we can say, participation in the mutual fund sector, and in order to make it convenient for the individual to take and manage their portfolios, right? So that problem of management is being resolved by such mutual fund central, right? As this facility, that is this lock-in facility, is going to be available at this mutual fund central, the participation of mutual fund investors in mutual fund central will also increase. So see, in the first phase, they are going to allow this facility to be availed, allow this facility to be availed at this center, that is at mutual fund central, right? Let's just move ahead. So who will manage this facility, right? Who is going to decide that what kind of units can be logged and what transactions cannot be logged, right? So SEBI has made Association of Mutual Fund of India, that is MFI, responsible for it. That you are going to be the one who will decide, you who will decide that what should be the process of locking and unlocking the mutual fund account. And they will also decide that which transactions are allowed during the lock period, right? And these are the things wherein MFI have been held responsible for all the procedures and for all the, we can say the actual procedures and what can be done and what cannot be, right? The mutual fund companies and the RTAs की full form है registrar and transfer agents. I would like to talk about this as well. Before we read this line, let's just understand what are RTAs. RTAs are the one who record the transaction, who record and maintain your data regarding your portfolio, regarding your transaction, even regarding your personal details, right? So they are a very important participant in the mutual fund industry, right? So all the mutual fund companies plus these RTAs must explain these rules on their website. So they are going to show all these rules in their website so that their respective investors can get aware of the new rules and facilities. Let's talk a little bit about the mutual fund central because a question can become from this particular, we can say, platform as well. So what is this? Mutual fund central is a unified, secure and free digital platform. That means no fee is being charged by this platform. It is completely free in nature. This is being launched by SEBI with the collaboration of CAMS and KFintech. CAMS and KFintech are two RTAs. We can say one of the major RTAs who are again responsible for managing the data of the investors. So along with this platform was released by SEBI. What is the function of this platform? It is a single window portal that consolidates and combines all the portfolio across all the asset management companies, right? So all the mutual fund companies data, you can see your data at one single place, that where I have invested my money, in which company and in which scheme, under which, and how much portfolio is there, right? Now there are some services or we can say features that an individual can access using this mutual fund central. The first one is update the PAN details. You can even apply for the PAN and you can transfer your mutual fund units to your, say, uh, to your claimants. That means suppose the investor dies. After that, their heirs or their legal right, persons with legal rights can access the mutual fund units, and that transmission of shares from the dead investors to their legal heirs can be done through this portfolio, through this platform again. So such kind of features are there. Then transfer of units, transfers can be done through this. And Mitra, suppose there was a person who has forgot that where they have invested their money, and it has been last 10 years that they haven't made any actions in that particular mutual fund scheme or portfolio. So they can find their mutual fund investment using this particular feature. The full form of Mitra is Mutual Fund Investment Tracing and Retrieval Assistant. This is the assistant that allows you to retrieve your investment, to transfer those investment to your active account, right? Now, with this, all these feature, this lock and unlock facility will be also allowed after April 2026. Now let's come to the second news, that is SEBI AI system named as Sudarshan. So SEBI have launched a artificial intelligence system named as Sudarshan that will going to review and monitor the post, which guarantees fixed and guaranteed profits, because the stock market is again very risky, right? And we do not want every individual to fall for this scam. We want our Indian investors to be logical and be very, we can say, we do not want them to be emotional with their investment decisions, right? So we want our investors to be sound enough and to be logical enough to invest in stock market or say any other category, mutual fund, equity or debt, right? So what is the problem that this particular system is catering to? So basically there are many financial influencers. We all know who are influencers. So by their name we can say that they are the persons who influences us to make certain decision, whether it's a finance influencer, whether it is a fashion influencer. They influence our decision. They influence us to make a particular decision by using our money. Now, financial influencers do the same thing, right? Sometimes they give us advice, and sometimes they give guarantee that invest in this particular share, you will get guaranteed profit, right? Now, SEBI says the financial advices to be financially disciplined. It is fine. Me as a regulator, these kind of posts, these kind of advices are fine to me because they are helping the investors to be logical enough, to be financially disciplined enough to manage their finances. But posts or reels that are supporting a certain kind of share wherein the investor must invest, such kind of posts are completely illegal and completely misleading to the individuals. And hence, these financial influencers, we often call it as finfluencers, on social media give investment advice without any registration. There is a particular registered individuals who give certain advices, right? These are research analysts, right? Which are registered with SEBI who give financial advices. Now they are registered, they have that skill, they have that knowledge to give you such advice. But these influencers do not have such logic, do not have such skill set to advise you. And that is the reason whatever advice they are giving on social media sometimes are false and misleading. And hence, SEBI says we need to stop these kind of advices. SEBI's data says that 9 out of 10 retail investors lose their money. Now, retail investors are small investors who invest their hard-earned money in stock market with the hope that they will earn huge profit, right? And retail investors are the one who are usually seen to be fall for this particular scam. And this is what we need to safeguard. That means we need to safeguard our retail investors. These are small investors. We do not want their money to be lost in the stock market. Then what AI system do? This AI system will scan all the social media platforms and check the audio, videos and text posts which are giving financial advices. Okay, they will find the fake promises, they will find the misleading content and tips, and they will find that who is giving illegal advisory services. And with this AI system, they will ban or delete that particular post, audio, video from that social media platform. Using this system, the SEBI has already removed 1.2 lakh misleading posts by unregistered influencers. Again, the agenda is to protect the investor from the fraud. We want to stop fake investment advices by the influencers and monitor the content that is going online. Because nowadays, because of artificial intelligence, there are many fake voices. They can easily, we can say, copy or they can easily make videos with the face of some other authorized person, which is not true. So that is the reason there is a need to protect the investor. Let's just come to the third news. Before I come to the third news, let me see, do you have any comments? Okay. Hi, Sony. Hi, good evening. Let me see if you have any doubt. Okay. So my third news is lastly very important news and one of the, we can say, latest news regarding this. So Swift, which which is a what is Swift? Swift is a society for worldwide interbank financial telecommunication. So this is a telecommunication, gives telecommunication services like allowing the banks, cross-border banks, to give messages to each other in a secure manner. Obviously, the banks shares very important and confidential data with each other so that they can settle the transaction, right? But there should be a authorized, or we can say secure platform. There should be a secure platform where they can share such data. Secure platform where they can share such data, right? So this secure platform that allows the banks to send messages to each other is Swift. इसकी full form पूछी जा सकती है in the examination. So I want you all to remember the full form of Swift, right? This started at business, or we can say started its services in 1973. Its headquarters is in Belgium and it is subject to the European Union law. It is a global cooperative, we can say, company. What do I mean with this? That means it has been created by its members only. Whosoever is a member of this platform is one of the, we can say, global, this is a global cooperative owned company which is being owned by its member only, right? It is providing secure global messaging network. It is providing a network to all the banks so that they can share the data with each other and important details with each other. Now it is being widely used across countries, across various banks. That is across, we can say, over 11,500 banks are the one, or we can say the banks plus fintech companies plus other intermediaries, financial intermediaries who use or are member of such messaging network. These are 11,500. Along with this, 200 and plus more countries they are currently have network in, right? So they ensure that the messages will send rapidly and the information is reliable, secure, and standardized. About about cross-border money transfer. So what banks are doing at the end of the day is settling the transaction or moving the money among themselves, right? So they must be given with confidential, standardized data that each and every bank can use in order to settle the trades. This platform is governed by world's central bank, including the National Bank of Belgium, US Federal Reserves, and European Central Bank. So this can also be asked in the examination, that who govern this particular platform. So this statement is regarding its, we can say, performances, that 75% of the SWIFT payments reach destination banks within 10 minutes. This particular statement is telling that the message, or we can say the payment details, are being sent among the banks within 10 minutes. This says that how, we can say, rapid, how secure, and how fast this network is. But there is a problem. What is the problem with that, with this platform? That is for the reason why they have introduced this new framework, right? Okay. So what is the problem with this platform? The problem is the delay still happens, right? The Swift is doing its work. Swift job is to provide the messages in a secure and fast way, right? But along with this, they also need to ensure that it is not expensive for any bank to settle the transaction. It is not expensive for the bank to settle the transaction. Now see, if there is wrong information is being sent to a particular bank by another bank, in that case, in that case, in that case, a wrong transaction happens. Obviously, there would be a certain cost that would be associated with that particular transaction. There would be a lot of paperwork, there would be a lot of time that will be taken by this particular bank. Along with this, that will also consider some cost. Ma'am, what kind of cost? The cost of forex risk, foreign exchange risk, right. And with this we get to know that each transaction have some cost, and the Swift job, the job of the Swift is to help bank in reducing this cost, right? And why would Swift do that? Why would Swift do that? Now see, there are many players who are already coming in this platform, or we can say is taking the job of Swift. Swift, many of the fintech companies are offering cross-border transaction in a very easy, convenient way with less cost. But what this fintech is lacking currently is security of their platform. And hence, many of the banks uses this. So Swift say, why don't I also provide such kind of facility, which is convenient for each and every bank to use, wherein there is less cost ascertained with the transaction. So what is the problem currently? That there is a delay in the payments at the end of banks, right? From bank's end. There is a front end processing because of there are two reasons why there is a delay. The first is front end processing. That means it takes a lot of time for a bank first to receive the message and to ensure that they have enough, or we can say reliable route to convert it, reliable route to settle the trade. Now what banks do? Say Indian bank have, okay, to understand this thing we need to understand few things. See, there's a particular bank who want to settle trade with a bank in say US, right? And this is a Russian bank. Now this Russian bank, in order to make transaction with the US bank, must have a correspondent account, must have a correspondent account with each other, so that they transfer that money to that account, and then this US bank can simply transfer that money to the actual individual. For this, the money has been given. Say a Russian person want to transfer the money to this US person, right? For that, the actual bank who is going to transfer the money is going to first transfer the money with the US bank that is in its correspondent account, which is being opened by this Russian bank with the US bank. And from this account, the money will be transferred from this account to the person who is living in US. And this is a domestic transaction settlement because money is being transferred between a correspondent account, which is again open with the US only, and between the individual account, which belongs to US bank only, right? So they are saying that corresponding account is not maintained with each and every bank, right? Every bank do not have correspondent account with each and every bank. As I told you that there are 11,500 members of this SWIFT members. Now it is not possible for each and every bank to have a correspondent account with 11,499 members. Is it possible? No, it is not possible. Why? It is very expensive to maintain such account for a bank. So each bank have few links only, few correspondent accounts with few banks which are important for them, which are important and key for the transaction settlement. Suppose now this Russian bank do not have a account with the US one. They may transfer it first to their, say, Dubai. For an example, they have a correspondent account with Dubai. Now Dubai have a correspondent account, say, with, say, Canada, right? And then Canada can have a correspondent account with the US. So through these patterns or through these routes, the money is being going to transfer from one place to the another. Now with this entire route, there is a cost ascertained with this. Now this front end processing include all this route. That means the route is being decided by the banks, right? Now what Swift can do with the new framework, they can allow the banks to find the most effective and cheaper route to settle their trades. This is what Swift do at the front end. They will help them find a better route to settle their transaction. Second, domestic settlement process. That means the money is being transferred from this bank to this bank. Now the money which is going to be transferred from the correspondent account to, say, this particular individual accounts. This takes a lot of time, right? This takes a lot of time. And here is the where delay is happening, right? So Swift is going to help banks to delay, or we can say shorten this delay between the domestic settlement processes. Okay. So these were the two problems. So what Swift have done? Swift is announcing a new framework wherein they are going to improve the how cross-border transaction happens between the retail payments, right? The aim is to make the payments faster, cheaper, and more predictable, right? How they are going to make it predictable? By taking the consent of the bank at each and every stage, that whatever details you have filed is correct or not, right? There would be a twice checkup, or we can say the checkup will be done of the details of the money that is to be sent twicely, so that bank can ensure that whatever data they have filed is completely correct at this Swift platform, right? So payments will be faster, cheaper, and will be more predictable. India will be benefited early because it is one of the world largest remittance receiving countries. India is the one which receives the largest remittances from the people who are living abroad, because Indian people who are living abroad, or we can say Indian NRIs, they are transferring their money to their families. Whether they are working in US, Canada, New Zealand, they do send some of the money to their loved one or to their families. That is the reason India is the most remittance largest country which is receiving the remittances in large values. And with this better, we can say, infrastructure of the SWIFT network, India will get benefited with this. Who are the major banks who are supporting this framework? State Bank of India, HDFC, ICICI Bank, and Axis Bank. So see, all the Indian banks are in support of these framework. The system will provide the clear cost information, obviously, what cost will be there for each kind of transaction settlement, right? That will be transparent in front of banks so that they can make their settlement decisions accordingly and with their mind, right? Food delivery of the transferred amount. That means there will be a complete money that will be settled. End-to-end tracking of payments. That means if a bank has sent a payment to say another bank, say bank 2, in that case, they can track the money and they can see the status of the transaction in this particular app, or we can say in this particular infrastructure service app. Faster transfers will be allowed and instant settlement will be done wherever possible. What is the launch timeline? More than 25 banks will start using this system by June 2026. So you can see the launch timeline is June 2026. More payment route will be added by the end of the day. That means that means like this. So instead of going for this particular route, the network may give this particular route for better transaction settlement and for better, we can say, effective and efficient cost as well. Here the cost will be less because route includes less intermediaries between them. So this is how the things will be happen at the Swift way. Right now, the question answer session. You can screenshot these questions. I'll answer. Okay, there is one question from Sonika. Do RBI also uses SWIFT or there is an alternative? No, no. All the banks who are under the, we can say, monitoring and supervision of RBI, they also use SWIFT in order to settle the transaction at a cross border, right? So I want you all to answer this particular question so that we can move ahead with the next question. Do participate in the question answer session, that is going to help you, right, in your examination as well. You can even share this, I can say this session with your friends and other aspirants as well, so that they get benefited with the latest news and better understanding, right? This session happens at the Testbook regulatory bodies channel, right? You can subscribe and you can also press the bell icon in order to get the latest news and get updated with the latest finance current affair news. The session happens on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays at the rate 5 or 4 p.m. At 4 p.m., this session is being conducted by me, generally on a daily basis, until and unless there is an exception that I am not well or there is some other important work to be done. Yes, D is the right answer. That is, it is not one of the reason for delay in the international payment. using Swift? Yes. Second question. Which of the following correctly states the full form of Swift and what is the headquarters of the Swift? Good, Sonika. D is the right answer. I can see that almost 20 people are currently live with me at this session, but there is only one person who is giving answers to the question. So the see your activeness in the live chat tells me how serious you are with your examination or with your goal. I won't call this RBI Grade B examination as one of a dream of the aspirants because I consider it as a goal of yours, right? अगर आप इसे गोल समझ के बैठेंगे then only you will be have that logical mind that yes, I can achieve it. This is something that I have to achieve it. Right? Right. A is the right answer. That is Society for Worldwide Internet Banking, Interbank Financial Telecommunication, headquartered in Belgium. Then the voluntary lock-in facility introduced by SEBI applies to which investment product? The new facility particularly. However, the lock-in facility is also available to many other facilities as well or many other products. But currently, the newest facility is going to be available to which of the following product? Yes, C is the right answer. That is mutual fund folios. Last question. Which of the Which of the following best describes the purpose of Sudarshan in the India's capital market? Right. So, in order to answer this question, you must know what do you mean by Sudarshan, and then only you will be able to answer that what is the purpose of it. Right. Yes. C is the right answer. That is enhancing the regulatory oversight through data analytics and AI. This is the right answer. So with this, we are done with our session. There are two, we can say, courses that we are currently offering. The one is of 7,799, which is being again discounted for all of you. And then 9,799, which is again discounted for super pack of regulatory bodies, right? And this is for only RBI Grade B. So you can always reach out to our, we can say, uh, individuals calling this number, and you can also use this particular code with my name, that is DAVI, and you can access the course at even more better discount. With this, we are ending our session. Goodbye everyone. Take care of yourself, take care of your health, and goodbye everyone. Best of luck.